What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Litecoin. Right now we're sitting at 131. We're down about 4.24%. What I want to do is go through a few different chart patterns that's playing out with Litecoin, and I also want to talk about Bitcoin because Litecoin's an oscillator of Bitcoin, and typically when Bitcoin pumps, Litecoin will pump a little bit harder. When it dumps, it will dump a little bit harder. So for me, Bitcoin needs to hold that $30,000. If we end up breaking down to about $25,000, it's most likely going to bring Litecoin down with it. And what I want to do is look at Litecoin on the one-day time frame here. So if we do end up having a dump to the downside, we're going to look at some target areas. And if we get that pump out of this triangle to the upside, we're going to look at some of those areas as well. So if you like me covering Litecoin, guys, let me know down low. Let me know if you're in Litecoin. Are you looking to buy Litecoin? And also what you think Litecoin could go to this altcoin market. I'd love to hear your opinion down low. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll dig into this. So first of all, what I wanted to point out to you here, you can see this symmetrical triangle or pennant is what we're going to call it. It's a pennant just due to the fact it doesn't have 30 days or more. Typically symmetrical triangles, they're over 30 days. If they're below that, they're going to be a pennant. What you can see here is we're having lower highs and higher lows. So we're getting into that squeezing effect as we wait to see what Bitcoin does. So always be aware of that, guys. Bitcoin is going to be the driver here. If it dumps, prepare. It doesn't matter what Litecoin's doing. Most likely it will bring it down with it. And same deal if Bitcoin pumps here. So to the downside, if we do break out of this pennant to the downside here, first we'd want to see 125.86 hold as support. If that area doesn't hold, I would look down to the 100 moving average. Now, typically in this uptrend that we've had, we haven't dropped much below this 50 moving average, and that's in pink here, and that's exactly where we're at right here. If you can see this, we're sitting right on top of it today. So if we get a candle close below that, I would look down to that 100 and see if we could find support, and that's roughly going to be at 107.35. The main thing for us as we're looking on the one day, though, that we need to stay up above for us to continue to be in a bull market for Litecoin and Bitcoin, we need to stay up above this 200 moving average, and that's at $86.32. I don't believe we're going to go down that low right now, but that's the overall area that we need to hold to stay in a bull market. So you guys definitely have to watch that, because last time when Litecoin started having candle closes on the daily below that 200, that's when price just tanked. So you really need to pay attention to this white moving average here as the days, weeks, and months continue on here. Like we said, it's all about Bitcoin. Keep your eyes on Bitcoin. Okay, so those are the downside targets. Now, typically out of these pennants, since we've been in an uptrend, we have a better shot at breaking to the upside. Now, what we need to do, we need to get over top of $138.39. That's going to be our first overhead resistance. Then it would be up to around 153.13. And then we'd be up to around that 178.25 that we got up to. Now, what you can see as we're getting in this little pennant formation, volume's also drying up, and that's typical. That's what you want to see. The volume will dry up, and then once we get that big stick of volume, whether it be to the upside or the downside, that's going to determine the direction, most likely, where we're going to be on, where we are going to be going for the next days, weeks, and most likely months ahead. That's why this is such a critical area for us. Now, if we end up getting into the technicals here, and this is going to be on the one-day time frame, you can see we've lost a lot, guys. That's why we need to get moving again here. So on the one-day time frame, we're looking at 11 sell, 9 neutral, 6 buy, oscillators 3 sell, 8 neutral, and a 0 buy. Moving averages 8 sell, 1 neutral, and a 6 buy. So what you can end up seeing here is our awesome oscillators a sell, our momentum's a sell, and our MACD is going to be a sell. The rest is going to be neutral right now. And you can see the relative strength is at 44. So this is what's nice, though. We have room. We've cooled down so much that if we do end up going to the upside, we have plenty of room to go up there and maybe even target that $200 just due to the fact that the RSI has cooled down so much. We'll have that room to make a strong move. Now, for the moving averages, the 10, the 20, and the 30 are all sells now. We're actually trading below those. Now, what we have as buy signals is the 50, the 100, and the 200 like we talked about. And that's why this is so significant, guys. I don't like trading underneath this 200 EMA, and that's going to be in purple. We basically held that from, let's see here, this was December 13th all the way till we had this big dump here on January 11th. So this is a significant level, and when you start having candle closes below it, that's when you want to start looking to that 50 next. And you can see on the 50, we had plenty of support all the way up through here. Now we're sitting on it again. So this is an area I really want to see us get moving for Litecoin. And this is the name of the game, guys. This is where I like to swing trade. But if you're a longer term investor, you're going to have to ride this stuff out. If you have confidence in Litecoin, that's going to continue to do well down the road, and Bitcoin will get moving here, and we're still in that bull market, then this is where you just have to be patient. You have to wait these days out. They come, and typically This back here was about 16 days. You can see it's kind of similar to what we were dealing with here. And today we're actually on day 16 as well. So as we get to the apex of this little pennant here, we're just going to have to see what happens. But all eyes are going to be on Bitcoin today. But what you can see, the RSI here is at 44. So last time when we pumped up high and we got up to around 180, the RSI was up to about 80. And that's where, guys, I always talk to you about when you see the RSI up above 80 on the 1-day time frame, and you start to get candles like this up top, these long, basically rickshaw man doji candles, shooting star candles, all different types of stuff up here, longer wicks. That's when you just want to be careful, pay attention to the RSI, pay attention to what's taking place with the candlesticks up in that area. Okay, now if we work through the time frames here, let's go to the 12-hour time frame. We're just going to slowly work our way through and see how we're looking. So you can definitely see this triangle here, or this pennant right in this area, still trying to hold these trend lines. These are drawn on the 1 day, so they're going to look a little bit different as we go through the time frames. Next, we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame. And let me know what you're doing with Litecoin, guys. Are you being patient? Have you already sold out of it? Are you looking for another opportunity? I would love to hear what you're doing. On the 4-hour time frame here, what's tough, we're below all of our moving averages. So from our 20 to our 200, and that's why we really need to get moving today, guys. If we drop down out of here, it could get ugly pretty fast here, even back down to that $100, just areas you need to pay attention to, okay, as we watch this, because typically when we get these breaks, they're extremely forceful. So we need to get back up above the 200, the 20, the 50, and the 100 there. And you can see lower highs and higher lows. So that squeezing effect taking place, and that's typically when you get one of those breaks. Next, I want to go to the 1-hour time frame. Take a look at this. And even on the 1-hour time frame, still just holding right down in this area. So we're going to have to see if we can find support here, get a nice bounce back up to the top, and see what we're going to do with those levels. But even on the 1-hour time frame, getting pushed down by all these moving averages right now. So that's why this is such a critical area for us to hold for Litecoin. The RSI on the 1-hour time frame sitting at about 33 right now. Last time we were that low, we ended up getting a nice little bounce out of here. We went from about 121 all the way up to around that 147. So we still may have room to chop back up in here as we're working our way through the apex, right in that range. So guys, I would definitely have an alert. Most likely we'd put one in about 128.72 to the downside. To the upside, we want to be alerted around 148.08 is going to be the areas that I'm looking at. But you know, as we look at today, we have a lot of selling off pressure here. Even Ethereum, $1,277, we're going to have to keep an eye on that all day. You know, we broke through all-time highs, and then we kind of got pulled down, and that's the power of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin starts to dump a little bit or get pulled down, a lot of times it brings the rest of the market down with it. That's why we like to see Bitcoin go sideways, so we can get some of that money into the altcoins and see them pop as well. But this is just a critical area for us here, guys. We're going to have to be patient. We're going to have to wait and see what happens, but really keep an eye on those areas that I talked about today. If you get some from this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let me know down low what you're doing. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends. Be patient.